Hello everyone, it's Loops here. Welcome back to our series of how to make an community airport in Tower Simulator 3. In this episode, I will be covering how to Photoshop planes out from the Terraland satellite images that you have imported. To do this, you'll have to go into Adobe Photoshop and open up the image tiles that contains planes and unwanted objects you want to Photoshop out. In this case, I know there are some planes on image 2-4 that I need to get rid of. That are these planes here on the runways and taxiways that we have to remove. There are two different ways you can remove planes and unwanted objects in Photoshop. The first way is called the content-aware fill tool. It can be achieved by using the spots peeling brush tool and selecting content-aware on this panel above. What you need to do now is give a big brush while holding down your left mouse button to select the area of the stuff you want to get rid of. And when you release it, the AI will automatically sample an area from the photo to replace this area that you have selected, like this. And as you can see, it has sampled this area from somewhere up here to replace this plane that we have selected down here. And now it looks much better, and there is no sign of a plane existing here before. However, the tool is not always useful in all situations. So let's try it in this plane over here. If we select this plane and release, as you can see, this time this content-aware fill tool did not do a good job on replacing this plane that we've selected because it was unable to find a perfect sample space from this photo. That is why in some cases it's better to use the other way of getting rid of planes, which is the clone stamp tool. What a clone stamp tool is basically the same as the content-aware fill tool, but it is you doing the work instead of letting the AI choose the sample space. Now you will need to find a sample space that you think best matches the one that you want to replace, and hold left click to sample the area. And you also want to find a object that you can remember and that you can align over here. So in this case, I can sample this taxiway center line here, then move it over here and align it with the taxiway center line here as well. And now let's just give this area a big brush. Now you can see this plane is gone, and there are only a few of these small major unaligned taxiway lines over here, but this can also be fixed easily by zooming in. The clone stamp tool is also very useful in doing the detailed work by zooming in super closely because it can clone stamp either a big area like what we did with that car plane, or you can just do very precise work with it by only clone stamping this tiny area of concrete and flying it over this taxiway line that we do not want. And it can work you can sample from anywhere on the photo and paste the sample to any other place that is on the image. Such as we sample this taxiway line over here, you can come over here and apply it to get this shadow of the plane wing. And now you see this is a completely clean area. If we want to get rid of these dots, we can do that as well. Now, there's no signs of a plane that existed up here before. Let's do two more examples over here on these two planes. For this plane, it is better to use it's better to use the clone stamp tool because it has these very precise taxiway markings over here on the left hand side. So it'll be better for the clone stamp tool to work because the content-aware fill tool it won't be able to do a good job on finding similar patterns like this. We can try, but as you can see, it is decided to remove all of these markings on the left-hand side. Therefore, let's undo that and try it with the clone stamp tool. And we can see this area on the top is pretty similar to this one. So we can go ahead and sample that. And also align the taxiway center line here again. Just give this a big brush. For the one on the right hand side, we can remove that later, but for now, this big brush should be able to get rid of all the plane shadow for us in the plane. Now, let's go ahead and fix the not aligning issues over here. On the right hand side, these dashes should not exist, so we can sample from down here and just give a big brush to this entire area on the right. And we can also sample from here to remove this dotted line, these dotted line over here. And finally, to align this left part, we can sample from here, where it turns from straight to the curve, to a curve on the left. And we can just line that. Okay, I did not do a good job lining that. Let's try again. Okay, that is slightly better. We will have to put this a little bit more, fixing this one as well. Line that and bring the line down all the way until it aligns. And now that looks pretty good. And finally, for this last plane over here, there isn't a place on this photo that does a good job that looks similar to this area over here. So for this plane, we will have to zoom in very closely and use the clone stamp tool bit by bit because there isn't an area that we can sample from. So what we have to do is we just sample this concrete over here and brush it over the plane like this. We'll have to just do this bit by bit because this is a very unique area and this is the only way of making it look good. As you can see, now we have gotten rid of the plane, but the taxiway lines are still not fixed. So how to fix the taxiway lines is you just go sample from tiny bits of the taxiway line from anywhere you can find them that they're similar. For example, the straight section can be sampled from here. And oh, paste that over here. I did not line that perfectly. Much better. And for this curved section, we can zoom out and see if there's any sections that look similar. This one looks like a pretty similar curve over here, so we can sample that and grow all the way down. As I said before, you can sample from anywhere on the photo and go paste it onto anywhere on the photo as well. That's why the clone stamp tool can be very useful a lot of the time. Now we just draw this line and make it a line over here. And now, if we zoom out, that looks pretty good. We have now successfully managed to remove all the planes on the satellite image and this looks much better if we load into the game and see only the runways and taxiways instead of there's no planes on the satellite image. Now let's transfer this image back into Terraland and make it show in the Unity. We'll go to File, Export As. We're going to choose JPG format and we can set the quality to 7, which is the highest. And the width should be automatically set. So from the same as the pixels it has in the original Terraland import. And you just only need to click export and find somewhere to save it. And what you would normally do is you would finish all the photos that you need to Photoshop that has planes on it, and then just go find your photo and do it in at once. But in this case, I'm just here to show you guys. So I'm just gonna take this one photo, which is this area over here. Take this photo, copy it, go find your Terraline import, and enter a assets Terraline 4 downloads and find the folder of your download. You can find that using the name, and which is basically the time and date of the import. You find this folder, you go into Style Images, you find the one that you have just photoshopped. So that's 2.4. You can just paste and replace the file destination. So you replace this original 2.4 with the one that you have finished photoshopping. And you see that is now replaced with the one that is no planes in the satellite image. Go back to Unity. It will take a minute to import if you have multiple, but now if it has like only this one satellite image, it will take only half a second. And now you can see it has been automatically replaced with the one that you have successfully managed to Photoshop. And this looks very nice. There are no more planes in the ground, and this looks pretty good. And that will be all the content in this episode. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.